What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wealth Webinar. Today, we got a whole new thing going on. We got the DJ. We got DJ Kenny Cuts back here from Timeless Tunes. We're going to be doing this every single week. We're going to have a DJ, but we got a special guest. Steven, you want to announce our guest?
Yeah, sure. So Sky Anderson's with us, and we met Sky at a couple different masterminds and events, Secret Knock and Prosperity Boot Camp, and various events like that over the last year or so. I guess Sky, I think I met you last year for the first time, and really impressed. He's telling us a little bit about what he has going with his accounting software and how it's using, AI and all this new technology to make everything a lot simpler and easier and save basically a lot of time. And as a business owner, that's very, very important. So I had him do a walkthrough with myself and Andrew a few weeks back, and we're starting to use the software ourselves. So I said, hey, would love if you could come on. I think this would be perfect for our network and our community and our members. So he said, I'd love to be on. And so the timing worked out well. So Sky's with us today. The company's Scarlet Books, I believe, but he'll tell you more about that. And how's it going, man? Great to see you.
It goes epically awesome. I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely. But before we get into it, Sky, I want to ask the audience, how many of you run a small business or have bookkeeping that you do? How many of you use QuickBooks? Give me an I, because I bet you a whole bunch of you are using QuickBooks or some form of QuickBooks. Let's get this. So a bunch of people are starting businesses. Okay. All right, so how many of you absolutely love QuickBooks? Anyone love QuickBooks? Nope.
Nope.
Okay, all right. Hate it, not so much. So one of the things that's really important that we're gonna get into with Sky is bookkeeping's the heartbeat of your business. You know, it's funny, I got in a huge argument on Facebook with a guy I know. He runs a media company, like a digital media company. I don't particularly like him or his business. I think it's shady, but we're not going to go there. But anyway, we're going back and forth, and he makes a comment to me that I found completely, number one, hilarious, and I thought he was joking. But then number two, I found out he wasn't joking. He was dead serious. And here's what he said. He says he was kind of poking fun of business owners that actually do a business plan. And he says any businesses that do a business plan have no business. And I'm like, I thought he was joking. So I started commenting on this. Me and Duck V are going back and forth. And I found out that the dude, he's a millennial, and I found out he was actually for real. He's like, it doesn't matter about a business plan. It just matters if you got sales. I said, so you're saying like every business should just not do a business plan anymore. So we should just start businesses, start doing sales, and have no idea what our business is, what the problem is that our business solves, who our client is, how we're going to market to them, what our projections will be 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years out. I guess, so Scott, I didn't know this, but I guess business plans are for us old guys. Like nobody does business plans anymore. They just start selling shit and they just hope for the best. What are your thoughts on that? Because am I crazy in the simple fact that like all my businesses, I do a business plan? I mean, the banks ask for it. Investors would certainly ask for it if you're going to raise money, but are we entering a world where it's just, man, just go out and sell? Who cares what the business plan is?
I couldn't imagine so. I'd imagine that particular gentleman is a one-off. There probably is something to be said by flying by the seat of your pants and just getting the job done. But I would want myself personally, I would fall back on a simple adage of if you're going to plan to fail or fail to plan, you're going to plan to fail. So why would you not want to know what you're going to be doing in every single day? You and I have been on the phone a time or two, and getting through to you is sometimes a little difficult because your day is so incredibly structured out. And that structure is what leads to your overall success, in my opinion.
And I got into this conversation. We're a little off topic, folks. We're talking about bookkeeping today and a bookkeeping software, but I'm going back to the business plan because a bookkeeping strategy and software will help you write a business plan. And it'll help you get off to the right start, because if you're going to project out what your business is going to do, those are your vitals. So the way I look at a business plan is if you're going to start a business, your business plan is the foundation. It is literally, if you're going to build a house, I guess back in the day, they didn't build houses with architectural plans, but that isn't done anymore. Today, when you want to build a house, you hire an architect. An architect does all the drawings to your spec and what you want. You're literally designing your house, but the architect also has to follow building codes and different rules and different metrics that they need to do to make sure that that house doesn't come crumbling down the first time you have an earthquake, or the first time it gets a little windy out. Your house doesn't blow over like the old pig story, right? You know, the straw house, gone. But I guess business plans are a thing of the past because we don't need a foundation. We don't need architectural plans for our business. We just go out at it. But getting back to bookkeeping, the bookkeeping that you use, and many of you said you use QuickBooks, that is your heartbeat of your company. Now, I don't think any business should operate with the owner not being able to read and understand their financials. Matter of fact, I think any business that's operating that isn't reviewing their financials, and I mean P&L, balance sheet, and if you're really optimistic, your cash flow statements, I think you should be reviewing them at least once a month. No less than that, because every single month that'll tell you how your business is tracking. Am I spending too much? Are we hitting our target for our sales? Heck, when I had my retail stores, I used QuickBooks. I hated it, but I would track my sales daily, every day. And then we had weekly goals, right? We set our goals. And if we missed the goals at the end of the month, we'd kind of go back and look at it. And we had our goals for how much money we were going to spend, cost of goods sold, and everything else. But if I didn't have bookkeeping systems in place, I would be operating my business completely blind. Literally just get in your car, put a blindfold on, and hit the gas. Like, you know, maybe you'll go a little bit longer, start in a big ass parking lot, and then that way at least you go a little bit so you start to think you got it until you hit something. That's what it would be like operating a business without bookkeeping, without some type of metric. And everybody uses QuickBooks. It's crazy because as far back as I can remember, Sky, the only thing that we've really had available before, well, there was Peachtree, but we won't even go there, you know, was QuickBooks. I've never known anything. And QuickBooks has gotten to be like the Gestapo, or, you know, you could even call it the mafia, where you can't use anything else. Any of you that have QuickBooks, you know that dreaded call that comes in. You know, sometimes it's from India, sometimes it's who knows wherever it's coming, and it's the QuickBooks person on the line. And you know damn well they're going to ask you for more money. You know, you got to update something. It's always something you got to update. And one time we had a problem where I can't remember what was going on, but our QuickBooks wasn't working. We had to hire QuickBooks, couldn't get somebody else to fix the problem. They charged $1,500 to do this. So anyway, all I'm doing is I'm trying to find out how many of you have dealt with problems that you had to go through with QuickBooks. Well, that's the problem that Sky's business solves. And every business solves a problem. And bookkeeping is a big problem if you're not doing it, an even bigger problem if you're doing it wrong, and an even bigger problem if you have no bookkeeping at all. So Sky, I'm going to let you take it from there. That was a long intro, but we're really excited about this. So everybody, again, put your hands together for DJ Kenny Cuts and Timeless Tunes. Not only that, put your real hands together for the hour, the man of the hour, or actually hour and a half, Mr. Sky. Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely. And once again, thank you so much for the introduction. So I'll go ahead and do a screen share here and introduce you to Scarlett and Scarlett Books. So the first thing that I want to identify with our system versus our competitors is that you're going to notice that you have all of your organizations. It does, with our pricing model, it does not matter if you have 2, 3, 4, 8, 15 different organizations, you are all going to pay one standardized price. And I'll be getting into that as time continues. But I want you to notice, if with each one of your organizations, you're going to be able to see your cash position, credit position, the total of which. This portion right here, this past due, this is unique to us. Now, between our banking technology and budgeting technology, if Scarlett ever recognizes that on a specific day, a certain dollar amount is going to be leaving your bank account from a bill or whatever it might be, and if there's not enough monies in that account to cover the bill, our system will actually proactively send you email and or text alerts letting you know that, hey, if we don't move monies into this account, you will accrue an overdraft fee. So that is unique to us. Past that, we have the total, your quotes, invoices, other might be a retainer. If you work with that kind of structure, a retainer is not an income until certain portions are utilized. That's actually an asset. And our system puts it in the correct categories for you right off of the bat. Past that, you'll see your total and then your projected each company independently. So this projection is actually out 30 days. So you will always have your finger on the pulse of where you're going to be at least 30 days from today. Now up on this top portion right here, you're going to find your total resources. It's going to be all of your company's combined cash position, credit position, the whole 9 yards to know where you are at with your total resources. Then you have your next 30 days of bills. What's going to be exiting your multiple different organizations? We need to understand those monies so we know what's coming around the bend. Then we have our potential receivables. Now, many of us that grew up kind of like Chris and I and Stephen and Andrew, somewhere inside of your business, there is a whiteboard. On that whiteboard are the individuals that you plan on selling, the individuals that are on deck, and so on and so on. Us as business owners, we're constantly having to get out of our chairs, walk down the hall. Hey, why are you not updating the board? With our system, you have your finger on the pulse at any given moment. You can see what is potentially coming into the organization over the next 30 days, and then your projected total value over the next 30. So with our system, we've noticed that, or at least with various other competitors, there's no real rhyme or reason on how to utilize it. You really need to have a bookkeeping or accounting background to be able to utilize their systems, and or you have to go and watch countless videos, hours of videos on YouTube, trying to figure out on how to use these softwares. So we took that into account when we went to go build ours. With our system, if you want to add businesses, very simple, you just click on the button that says add business. Now moving forward, once you have your businesses put in, you're going to use this little next button, or you can click on these independently, but we always want to say, hey, go through the system the way that it's designed using the next button and just walk through the software. Now, once you have all of your businesses input, you're going to start by adding your bank accounts, credit lines, line of credit, loans, mortgages. We're going to start to account for all of those different actions. Once we are done there, we simply use that next button. It's going to take us over to assets. Now, before I dive into assets, I want you to notice this little video icon. It is jumping from location to location. So with our software, if you ever get lost or hung up or confused on a specific portion, you can always click the video icon. Scarlett will come over the top and give you the 30 to 45-second answer that you require, so you can put the information in accurately, quickly, and move on with your day, versus once again having to go and watch countless hours of YouTube videos. Now, when it comes to adding your assets, we wanted to keep it nice and uniform, so just click on Add Asset. Now, when you're coming through the ranks of being an entrepreneur, a business owner, things of that nature, some of the vernacular might get in the way of understanding. Accounts receivable. If this is your first time firing up an organization, that may not be understood off the bat. So what we did is we went ahead and put in the definition of each one of these actions. So even if you don't understand the vernacular right off the cuff, at least you can read your way through and figure out what you have and what you do not have. And it's very, very simple. Do I have accounts receivable? Do I have a bank account? Once you have these pieces put in, they show up under the appropriate company of what that company is in ownership of from an asset value. Once we're done there, we're going to head over to liabilities. Same type structure. If I want to add my liabilities, I'm going to click the button. Once again, you'll find the same type definitions for each one of these actions. Identify the liability that you do have, fill in the fields, and move on with your day. Very, very nice and easy. We wanted to put this in a format to where anybody could jump on and effectively use it, then effectively be, at the end of the day, hopefully a better business owner. Moving on from there, we have our budgets. Now, our budget technology, once again, very, very simple. You can go by company, you can go by next 30 days and so on. But if we want to add our items, simply click Add Item. You'll identify the company that will be paying the bill, or will a secondary company be paying this bill? And I'll be getting further into that as time goes on. Then we identify the account, which bank account is going to be paying this bill. Then are we identifying a vendor or a category? You'll notice that as you're using the system, you will be finding these little prompts everywhere. Once again, we wanted to put in some added information all across the board so the software is easy to use regardless of where you are in your journey as an entrepreneur. Then your due date, is it monthly? Is it one time? Are we dealing with somebody like a GoDaddy where you may have 3 different accounts on different times of the month? Very simply, just go in and add new, add new, add new. Identify all of the budgets and all of the bills that each one of your organizations are going to be paying. Once again, this helps just clear everything so you know where your companies sit at any given moment. Once again, using the next button takes us over to revenue. Revenue. With our software, you can invoice in any way, shape, or form that you see fit as the business owner. Do you need to take a credit card directly over the phone? We have that capability. Do you want to send out your invoices via email? We can do that as well. Do you want to eat the charges? Do you want to pass the charges on to the client? Any way, shape, or form that you see fit, we can get it done. Now going on to the next, now we were on the start block this whole entire time. As I use that next button, it's brought me all the way down to accounting. Now this next button will walk me through every single one of these actions. I never have to go looking around. We've already built in the process the way that a CFO would go in and structure your house.
Do we have any CFOs on here? Like, how many CFOs do we have? Give me an I, or just say CFO in the chat. I'm just curious, because I'd love to get a third-party CFO's opinion as we kind of walk through this part.
Absolutely, that'd be wonderful. No quite CFOs, but that's okay. We'll keep on trucking on. So this portion right here, this is our Scarlett area. Now, Scarlett, she is an artificial intelligent accountant that lives directly in the software. She doesn't eat, she doesn't sleep, she doesn't take bathroom breaks, nor does she, ask for holidays off. She is constantly working. So you'll see that some of the companies are highlighted in blue, others are in white. That is on purpose. Now, if you see the companies that are in white, that means there are no transactions that you need to go and deal with. Scarlett already has it covered. If they are in blue, well, we need to teach something Scarlett. Teach something to Scarlett. So I'm going to go ahead and go into March 1. I'm going to click select, which is going to open up a secondary screen. And it's going to tell me what I need to do. Where do I need to go? What do I need to deal with? I apologize for the lag there. That is the Zoom, not the software. But you can see that we have 22 transactions that need to be reviewed. We also have other buckets: bill match review, invoice match review, interest review, prepaid, reconcile, asset sale review, minutes and resolutions, and guidance tasks. I'll be getting into these a little deeper as time goes on. But if I want to identify these transactions, I simply click on review and I tell Scarlett what's going on. These are all of the transactions that are happening with my business. Now, Scarlett has the capability of self-categorizing about 95% of the transactions that are going to come across the board. There's still that last 5%. That might be income or a one-off business deal, whatever it might be. Then we go in and we say, you know what? I need to do a quick update on ones that you don't find the proper information in there. Once you open that quick update, we identify the information. Are we updating the contact info? No, contact info looks good. Am I updating the category info? You know what? Yes, I am. We go in, we do have this little artificial intelligent AI where it just kind of points you in the right direction if you don't know exactly what to do. So let's say that we are doing a capital investment. We click the button, it's going to come up with a little prompt that explains what that is so I can move forward. And Scarlett's already put in that, hey, this is going to be capital. Once I'm done here, I click submit. And Scarlett will go through every single transaction looking for like items and will immediately apply the same technology to all of them. So you don't have to go one by one by one. If she finds 30 of them and they're all the same vendor, lacking the same information, she applies it all to all 30 and moves them off the board. So that's how we're able to go through those transactions very, very, very quickly. Done there. And of course, we do have by third party, by bank info, by date. We also have this second review. Now, with our software, there might be some professionals in the crowd that say, wait a second, it sounds like you're taking my job away from me. No, absolutely not. We actually want to introduce more clientele to you because we're able to do so much of the heavy lifting. Now you can onboard more clientele, which then increases your value and what you're able to bring in. Moving on from there brings us to our transactions. Now, just because we are going through and Scarlett's learning, we are learning the whole 9 yards, we still want to go through and put some human eyeballs on it. We can't just rely on that. So we go through, if everything looks nice and copacetic, we can do a mass approve or we can go one by one. That just depends on you as the user. Once we're done there, we go off to reconcile. Now, it sounds like there are some professionals in the group. So when it comes to reconciling your books, there's somebody out there somewhere that has spent hours upon hours trying to find that 15 cents, 22 cents, whatever it might be that are throwing your books out of whack. Now with our system, if Scarlett identifies a transaction that's not where it's supposed to be, she immediately highlights in red, brings it right to the top of the list. You get to explain to Scarlett what is going on there. Boom, move on with your day. Your books now will be self-reconciled. speed and accuracy. We don't have enough time to be messing around with these things when we should be engaged in MMAs, money-making activities. Moving on next, that brings us to tools. Now, this very first block right here, personal funds spent. All of us at one point have heard the term commingling. We're using personal funds for a business activity. That is what commingling is, and we need to stop that actually. If you're running a corporation, there are laws against it. If it's an LLC, it's just bad housekeeping. But if you are the startup, and a lot of you are going to understand this, sometimes the bank is you, and you are funding your organization, but we need to account for that. So I know for a fact that if I slide my card for a business activity, I can go right into personal funds, I can identify the transaction, tell Scarlett, actually, this was meant for company A, and she will do my journal entries, memos if required, and so on and so on. Depending on the dollar amount, she might say, hey, do you want to do this as additional capitalization? Or do you want to do it as a loan? If you click loan, there you go. You go to retrieve your monies back at some point. Now you're taking your monies back from a loan standpoint, which is non-taxable versus income. Why would you do that? You're now just got taxed twice. Moving on from there, we have our activities review. Now, as business owners, whether it's LLC or corporation, a little bit more stringent, you should be maintaining your minutes and resolutions by law. LLC, if you go to Google right now and ask, are minutes and resolutions required? Google will tell you that only your annual meeting of minutes are required. But I have seen far too many business owners get taken to the cleaner for lack of documentation. Any person of authority, if you find yourself in a bankruptcy, audit, lawsuit, they're going to ask for your corporate minute book. They're going to flip that thing right open, go to the tab that says minutes. And if there are no documents inside of there, they're simply going to close the book, push it to the side and say, Mr. or Mrs. whomever you are, I'm sorry, but I'm going to disallow your company to its entirety. And whatever judgment happens today is going to come against you personally. At that point, why did we have our company in the first place? So we need to be maintaining our minutes and resolutions, which we can also do directly from this system. You can go right into your activities review, click on LLC review or corporation if you have it. Then you go through, complete your annual LLC meeting. Now, with the verbiage of our software, you can go back in time to the conception of your company. The government gave us the opportunity to go back in time under the eyes of Reconstruction. Corporate minute books can be lost. They can be damaged, whatever it might be. We still need an opportunity to say, hey, it got damaged. Can I still go back and recreate these documents if I'm being required to have them? Our system also has that capability. So you can go through, create your annual LLC meeting, have your acquiring assets from their business. These are all of your different resolutions. You can go through, create them. Documentation is by far the cheapest insurance you can have on the planet. Most clients that I talk to, I let them know I do not walk across the street without a form of documentation. It's just cheap insurance. It took 2 seconds out of my day. So I've already created a couple, whether it be, let's see here, appointing a purchasing agent, somebody that is allowed to spend companies' monies, or if I swing on down to purchase a piece of real estate, here we go. I simply click the button, it opens up the field, I put in the information, I click submit. What happens after that is the document is created. So I'm going to go in and say, well, this one happened through March 1, so we're good to go there. And I'm going to identify purchasing a piece of real estate. Here we go. I filled in the fields, excuse me, misclick. I filled in the fields, document is created on my behalf with all of the proper verbiage.
Wow. Now, let me ask you a question on this, because this is an area I haven't been very good. If you have a whole bunch of LLCs like you just showed, can you do minutes for all of them if it's something like that applies to each company? For example, like if you hire a bookkeeper full-time that's going to have authority to operate on all of your companies, can you save time without having to go in and do a resolution on each company? Can we do like one resolution that applies to every company you have?
Depending on, you can create your own resolutions that says, this individual does have access and authority to each one of these, but better practice would be to have a document for each one of the organizations.
Okay.
So that takes care of our minutes and resolutions. The other portion that I want to show you, and let me click back into tools here.
I like that feature. I've never seen that before. And, back during the pandemic when we were doing the EDIL loans and the PPP loans, they asked for, they asked for minutes for each one of those. They wanted it. And, at first I was like kind of caught off guard. I had to create documents for that, where this could have just done it.
Absolutely correct. If you are wanting to be a veteran-owned business owner, they're going to require you to have these minutes and resolutions in place. And let me go a little deeper into when it comes to minutes and resolutions versus your organization. When you create an LLC or a corporation, what you've effectively done is you've created a person on paper. That's what we've done. What the minutes and resolutions do is they show a distinction between you and your organization. Without the proper documentation, any person of authority will say, well, you're basically running your company as an alter ego of yourself. So I'm just going to pretend it doesn't exist. The documentation reinforces that, hey, I am different than my organization. That's why my organization gave me authorities to go and open a bank account, to hire that professional, to fire somebody, and so on and so on and so on. So that's what your documentation does. Now, when you go to create your documents, there may be other secondary tasks that need to be accomplished. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to find my management company. And I'm going to swing on down to that real estate. I created this resolution earlier today so I could show the other capabilities that we have. Now, this information might not be right in the wheelhouse of your everyday person. So what we said is, you know what, there's secondary actions that need to take place after the purchase of a piece of real estate or after you have hired a new employee and so on and so on. So as I create the resolution, this is also gets created. So I need to print, sign, and place that document inside of my corporate minute book. I need to add the acquisition documents to the minute book. I need to add the assets to the company books. I need to add the amount to the monthly budget. If I just bought a piece of property and the mortgage is $1,100, next month I might get caught off guard. Wait a second, why am I $1,100 off this month? Well, you bought a piece of property. Make sure it's inside of that budget. Complete the titling process, obtain other required insurances, and add the additional insurance documents to the minute book. We are helping you keep your companies nice and tight. And now you have a much better idea of what you need to be doing moving forward so your companies are always on point. Moving on. Use that next button. That's going to take us down to our cash flow. Now, our software is very cash flow heavy, profit loss items, balance sheet items, and so on and so on. Of course, they have their place in the world. But when it comes to the daily operations of your organization, cash flow is king, and there's no secondary choice to that one. So what we did is we put together a combined cash flow. This is going to be all of my companies combined. I get to see what's going on from a 50,000-foot view. Now, moving forward from there, just because all of my companies combined are in the green does not mean that each company independently is in the green. I could have one company that's generating $1 million and another company that's generating negative 25,000, but yet I'm still in the green. So we broke it down. Now, just because my companies independently of each other are in the green doesn't mean that each bank account independent of the organization is in the green. So we take it from the 50,000 and we boil it down. If there's a discrepancy anywhere inside of your finances, you need to know where it's at. Living by a prayer is not going to happen, especially in the day and age that we live in.
It's too bad we didn't have that song queued up.
Moving on, then we have our performance review. We have a couple of different toys in here. Income. What's going on with my income from a performance standpoint? Where am I at on the line? Next, we have our assets. Now, I apologize, I don't have anything. Actually, I do. I have a piece of real estate. This piece of real estate, I need to know exactly what should be happening with this piece of real estate every single month. Now, the nice thing with our software is that I can apply quote unquote screws to this. I can say, hey, Scarlett, if I am 5%, 10%, 15, 20, whatever it might be, lower than the target mark, I want to be notified. So if I'm X amount of percentage lower than that $500, I'm going to get the text and or email alert from Scarlett saying, hey, you didn't meet your target. Go and take a look at your books and find out why. Or it's a good indication I need to get on the phone with my management company that's overseeing that piece of property and say, hey, why am I getting notified from my accounting software that we didn't hit our target this month when I pay you a boatload of money to notify me? Maybe that's a good indication we need to start shopping for another management company if they're not getting the job done. Knowing what we're paying, how we're paying it, how much we're paying is all one thing, but is the job actually getting done? That's a big part of the puzzle, and a lot of us are not looking at that. Then we have our marketing performance. we as business owners, entrepreneurs, we all wear different hats at any given one time. I like to say it's a hat of 7 brims. So with our marketing, when we take off one hat and put on another as sales individuals, once we get through the pleasantries of the day, where did you hear about me? Where am I getting my clientele? We should be accounting for that. We might have several different SEO marketing buckets we're throwing money at. And if those buckets aren't bringing us clientele, maybe we shouldn't be paying them. Then we have our products. Which products are selling? Which ones are not? How come my lower end products are selling like crazy, but my high end products are not? Maybe we need to manipulate it, find something to present it better, make it more sexy, whatever it might be. And then our sales individuals. Which sales individuals are actually hammering phones, getting the job done, and which ones are playing solitaire, collecting a paycheck? Let's figure it out as business owners. Let's keep our fingers on the pulse. Let's know what's going on. So our trajectory, instead of this mess, is a nice, steady upward growth. Once we're done there, it's going to bring us to our invoices. Now, I've covered invoices pretty aggressively. We can invoice in any way, shape, or form that you as the business owner deems most appropriate. Nice and easy. Using that next button takes us down to bills. We've covered bills. Put them in, maintain them, find out what you're paying. Let's be on point. Then our reports. We have all kinds of different pulse reports. Keeping yourself in the know is key. Chris mentioned that he used to run a store. If he didn't know what was going on with every single day, he doesn't know how to manipulate what's going on inside of the organization. Knowing what's selling and what's not selling and so on is paramount. So let's find out what's going on within your organization. And of course, you have your balance sheet items, profit and loss, and so on and so on. Now, the wonderful thing with our software, items, loss, payments, yada, yada, is our software, you don't need to go into one set of books, get the information, print it, close those books, open up a secondary set of books, get the information, print it. Now you've got 7 different statements or whatever it might be. Now you're putting them on an Excel. This is time consuming and ridiculous. With our software, if you have 7 different organizations, you want your profit and loss, you have 7 different organizations on one profit and loss. Done, dealt with.
Yeah, that's definitely a QuickBooks issue. I can tell you that firsthand. Melissa, our bookkeeper, and when I was doing it, you have to go into every single company, print the reports, which means logging out, logging back in. Anyone love the login process for QuickBooks? It's a real pain in the ass, and you just got to keep doing that for each one. So that's a nice feature, being able to just, we'll call it household every company into one report if you want, or break them all out, but not having to leave, the platform to log into another one.
Absolutely. And that's one of our claims to fame, is the fact that we do house all of your organizations on one platform. Now you have a company to company relationship.
That's an interesting thing. Back to invoices. Eve brought something up. She would love a way to forward emails with invoices. Like, is there a way to aggregate or however you would say that, emails in with the invoices? So you send the invoice out and then maybe set up like a sequence of emails that go out to remind or things like that. Is that part of it?
You have that capability as well.
Nice. There you go, Eve.
You can do partial payment. You can set individuals up on payment plans. We're talking the whole 9 yards. Anything that you want at that point. What would happen is either A, you reach out to me, or B, I get you right on the phone with the organization that we work with. They are not an aggregator like a Stripe or Square. They're an actual merchant service provider. So then at that point, now you're dealing with what the credit card or debit card itself charges, not the overall 2.9 with a 30-cent kicker, which is taking people, if you're in real estate investing and you're only bringing in $200-300 a month from a piece of property, and now you're being forced to pay this 2.9, that's eating into your bottom line. But there aren't too many other options. So people just take it and they take what they're given. We said that's enough garbage right there. The business owner needs to be able to keep as much money in their pocket as humanly possible, because either A, it gives them a better chance of survival, but hopefully in the long run, a better chance of success. And by and large, business owners are moms and dads trying to make ends meet. My kid needs braces. My daughter's turning 16. She needs to have the most capable and protected vehicle on the market, and so on and so on. We can't, of course, change the world, but if we can bring your accounting down to where it's now manageable, we're helping out just a little bit. We also have payroll capability. We did partner up with a company called mypayrolloffice.com. Mypayrolloffice.com is about half the price of QuickBooks Online. Past that, just so you're peering into who we are as business owners ourselves and to see where our heart lies, we were asked by My Payroll Office, hey, do you guys want to charge a percentage rate on top of what we charge so you guys can make a couple extra pennies? We said, no, thank you. Keep that price point as low as humanly possible. Once again, my job on this world is to service a small business owner and give them a better chance of success. And that means giving up $5, well, then so be it. Then we have our more. I'm going to jump into more accounting very quickly. You can do your own chart of accounts. You can update those, the whole 9 yards, however you see fit. You can do tracking tags. Let's track your not your organizations, but your real estate assets and so on and so on. Manual upload. If you do happen to utilize a bank that we don't cover, and we cover about 14,000 different institutions, but if you are happy using the mom and pop on the end of the supermarket bank, and they don't have the capability to connect via the internet, you can easily go over to the institution, get a CSV file of it, and do a manual upload, and we do not shortchange you. The process still goes through the Scarlet process, so you still get all of the AI capability, only just one extra step if you need to go this route. Then you can do your own journal entries. You can also do your own previous balances. So if you are trying to start at the middle of the year, you can track down exactly where you are in the year, go to your previous balances, fill those in. Scarlet's equations start running from that day moving forward, so you know your books are perfect. Now I'm going to go into capture. Now I'm going to paint the picture real quick. I have a piece of property. It's in Ohio. I also have, and it's housed by an LLC. I also have a management company in the state of Nevada for tax reasons, or what used to be tax reasons. So this piece of property needs a new roof. Let's say it's $30,000. Now, if you are using some of our competitors like QuickBooks Online, you need to go into one set of books. Let's say the management company. Then you need to create the asset or liability. You need to put in the dollar amount. You need to do the journal entries. You need to do X, Y, and Z. Close those books down. Open up the secondary set of books. Do your asset or liability. Do your journal entries. Do X, Y, and Z. Close those books down. For one transaction, it can take you anywhere from 25 to 45 minutes. I know because I've asked around. So with our system, since we do have company-to-company relationships, I'm going to go, well, you know what? Today is money out. And what company is it? Well, I'm going to say that my management company, here in a moment, I apologize for the lag. That's the Zoom. There we go. My management company, the account. Man, that lag is killing me right now. And this is the bank account that is going to come out of. On what date? Let's say it happened on the 6th. What's the amount? Well, the amount's going to be 30 grand for a new roof. Now, here's where the magic comes in. Is this for a related company? This is unique to us. I'm not aware of another organization out there, accounting organization, that has this capability. So we're going to say, you know what? Yes, it is. And just like before, if you do get lost, you hover over, it tells you what the action does. But I'm going to say, yes, it is for a related company. Well, what's the related company? It's my Gmail, or it's my March, whatever it might be. And these are test fictitious organizations. Then I'm going to go in, okay, I've identified my related company. After we wait for the little half a second of lag, what our software does is it puts in the liability automatically, does your asset automatically. I can then put in the category. Well, it's an asset improvement, easy peasy. I can put in my tags. Once I click submit, that 25 to 45-minute long process for our competitors, I am already done. It will do my journal entries. It will create the asset. It will create the liability on both sides of the fence, all automatically. So at this point, I've boiled down 25 minutes down to about 8 seconds.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And you can do that with any kind, whether it be money in, money out, interest adjustment, cost adjustment, prepaid adjustment, depreciation, other journal entries. Now, if you're wanting to get into loans, real estate investing, and so on, when they ask you for their books, they're not joking. They're asking you for your books. They want to see that your interest is being accounted for, and so on. We have that capability. It's right here. Get it done right. Now, the beautiful thing with Scarlett, which I'm not sure if I mentioned before, is that you teach her, she learns for forever. So effectively, the more you teach her, the less you're having to do moving forward. So you get on the software, you start identifying transactions. It only takes a couple of hours. I can fly through about 2 years worth of transactions in about an hour and a half. I would like to see QuickBooks try and keep up with that. It's not going to happen. And that would be multiple organizations. But then that affords me the availability, like I mentioned in the previous MMAs, money making activities. Get up in the morning, identify what's going to make you some cash, and let's move on. Apart from that, then there's the personal side of the fence, which a lot of us as business owners, entrepreneurs, we neglect. Our kids, sorry, Tommy, I cannot make it to your ball game. I've got 8 hours worth of accounting crap I need to go and deal with. Not with our software. She's already learned. You're not going to miss that recital. You're not going to do this. You're not going to have the missus yelling at you because, oopsies, I can't make XYZ. You fill in the blank. Once we're done there, then we have our personal. So we've covered the commingling aspect. Yes, clean up your books, make sure they're right and they're perfect in the world. But then also with your personal, you can track your personal accounts, your personal transactions, break them down. Where are you spending your monies? I had to delete DoorDash. That was way too expensive. Budgeting items, the comparison of which, and then access. Now our software can be broken down and we do not charge for additional users. So Chris, he is the owner of the organization. Then he has his right-hand man or woman. And then the line gets broken down all the way down to your sales individual. Now with our access, Chris can go in at any given time and see exactly who's playing around inside of his software, at what time, what organizations, and what were they doing. Marjorie, our office manager, Marjorie, I've given you the task. I need you to go through, clean up some stuff, get it rocking and rolling. Here's the task for the day. Later on in the day, hey, Marjorie, did you get it all done? Of course I did. Chris now has the capability to go in and see if maybe there was a little fib in there. Actually, Marjorie, you didn't. And I can see that you didn't. Why not just be open and honest with me? You got busy. It's no big deal. Life happens.
Now, with this being able to integrate in some of the personal stuff, in my, and a lot of what we teach is the infinite banking concept and different uses and advanced strategies for using it. So let's just say I have a private banking system that I set up for me personally, and I got that all in here. And from time to time, I lend money from me personally to my company. Can Scarlett learn, because it's usually just we do a promissory note from me personally to whatever company I'm lending to. I just charge a flat 6% interest. Is there a way to integrate and automate that? So every time I lend money to the company, it can kind of just blend right from the personal into the company. I know that's not part of the presentation. I'm just thinking out loud.
No, absolutely. We have that capability all day long. So one of two things are going to happen. Obviously, monies are going to leave one account and go transition over to another account. That's the easy part. But when it goes into the secondary account, how are we going to categorize it? Well, you're going to go in and do the quick update and say, yes, this is X, Y, and Z. You're going to go into the liability and say, yep, this is what's going on here. And then, of course, you owning the asset, or vice versa, excuse me. And then moving forward, the nice thing about Scarlett, and I'm going to pop back over to accounting very quickly, is as you're going through your transactions, let me go back into March. It's a simple approval process. So let's say for giggles, this does not say revenue interest. This says what you just mentioned.
Interest expense?
Not so much interest expense, but the loan payable or whatever it might be that you gave monies from one account over to the to the secondary account.
Yeah, I lent money personally to one of my companies.
Correct. So that's how it would be categorized.
Okay.
And then moving forward, if you do it again, Scarlett's going to go, wait a second. I remember that Chris Naugle guy. I remember that he moves money from one account to another account. She's going to say, hey, is this category correct? You're going to say, yes, it is. Then it's just a simple approval. Boom, done.
Wow. And then after that, once I've lent the money to the company, can then I go in and set up an automatic recurring payment from the company back to me so that the company's paying my interest or my PNI every single month? I mean, can it do that too?
Correct. Yes, it can.
Shit, that's way too easy. Oh boy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've been teaching that a lot because there's a lot of people that lend money to their company, but they never account for it. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not accounting? Well, I am the company is me. That's not the way the IRS looks at it. And if you're doing that, why aren't you treating your money the same way you treat the bank's money? Because if you borrowed money from the bank's going to expect interest payments and principal and interest, however you set it up. So you're going to pay the bank. Why wouldn't you pay yourself the same way? And as long as you're not, charging the company more than what you could get a loan for the bank, then you're pretty much checking all the boxes, at least from what I've been told. And this automates it all. So as soon as I transfer from personal to the business, it's going to set up those two accounts, the receivable and the liability.
Correct.
Whoa. Okay, QuickBooks doesn't do that, folks. Not even close.
No. And QuickBooks is built the way that they are built on purpose. They're built to be frustrating. So you have to go and watch countless hours worth of YouTube crap. You get done with that. Now you're beyond pissed off and you've got no other course of action other than to pick up the phone and hire one of their professionals.
$5,000 somebody paid.
They did it on purpose. Whereas we have a different viewpoint. It wasn't too long ago, because we still are, that we were the up and coming entrepreneurs that didn't know what direction to go. We didn't know what to do. We were floundering around in the ether sphere. What do we do next? And then as time continued, obviously we learned some things. So we said, you know what? Let's put the power back in the entrepreneur's hand. This country, everything around us was built on the backs of the entrepreneur. And if we can have more entrepreneurs gaining success, that is better for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing easy about QuickBooks. Then they came up with the QuickBooks Online, you know, that was the web version that was supposed to be super easy, and it, you know, it plops all the information from your checking account, tries to categorize it. I don't know how many of you have used that, but that thing creates a monster of a mess that no accountant or bookkeeper wants to straighten out. I know we did that. We experimented with it. It was an absolute disaster. We went back to the desktop version just because QuickBooks wasn't intuitive, didn't learn anything, and just kept screwing things up as it plowed information over from the checking accounts, you know, that were obviously automatically connected. Yeah, so there you go. Jennifer said, yep, see those disasters all the time. Somebody was asking here, I want to hit this question because I thought it was really good. Somebody has an extension for their taxes for 2021, just real estate rentals and a simple cash service company. Can I do this for 2021 accounts with this software? In other words, can they go back and literally just recreate it, you know, because they're already extended, and then create their books for a company or for the prior year? I know you were talking about that.
Absolutely.
That was for Sally.
Absolutely, you can. Now, the only potential holdback is the institution that the user uses. So some institutions let you go back X amount of months. Others will let you go back 18 months. So if you're able to go back as far as you can, let's say that you're able to go back 6 months, well, then go and get the hard information, those CSV files, because they're still there. Go and get those and do a manual upload. Now you can go back, get it done. Scarlett's going to learn, get your books all in order, and rock and roll.
I mean, how many of you on here right now? I mean, I just got to ask, just because of, you know, what Sally just said. How many of you are literally using Excel spreadsheets to track your business expenses and income? I mean, you don't have to admit it, but I mean, is there a lot of you using Excel just to do your bookkeeping? Oh, wow. Okay, there is. Holy smokes. I mean, just with this quick go through, did this make sense? Did this seem a lot easier than trying to create everything? Once you do Excel, I mean, it's just, it'll give you what you need, but it's not going to print reports on the fly. I mean, when you apply for a loan, Google Docs, same thing. If you apply for a loan from the bank, they're going to ask you for your P&L balance sheet. I mean, what are you going to do? Create it? I mean, because that's the only way with Excel, right? Excel doesn't print balance sheets or P&Ls. You got to go in and take the data and then create it. How much time that would take? That's insane. I can't believe it.
Absolutely. And some of the further capabilities. Now, some of the professionals in the room or QuickBooks users are going to understand the idea of setting rules with QuickBooks. That is a monumental task in itself. Now, our software, you don't have to set rules. So let's say that I frequent the same exact gas station every single day. I hit the gas station in the morning. I spend $3.82. I grab myself a donut and a cup of coffee on my way. Now with QuickBooks, it doesn't say, oh, this is this and this is this. It does to a degree, but it depends on the user itself. Now with our software, Scarlett's going to make the assumption that unless it's about 5 seconds before payday, that $3.82 was most likely food and beverage, and she will self-categorize as such. 6 hours later, I hit the same exact gas station. On the way home, I spend $62. Not going to be expensive food and beverage. Most likely is going to be fuel. Scarlett will make the assumption, say, hey, I'm going to self-categorize as fuel. The only thing she's asking for is the approval. Now, If that $62 was not fuel, maybe it's a Friday night and maybe there was some beverages that were purchased, well, then you just switch it back over to food and beverage. No big deal, but it doesn't mess with trying to categorize in any way, shape, or form. So all we're doing is looking for the quick approval. What's going on within your books?
The other thing, and I can relate just because I'm developing a software for Private Money Club that literally just is step by step by step, like a process. QuickBooks, they might have that, but most people don't follow it just because it's so complicated. Here, when you come into this, you literally have it just outlined. Like it just automatically takes you on a journey to creating proper books and setting up the proper systems. And, yeah, I mean, anytime you're building books from scratch, if any of you are using Excel or anything else, I mean, starting with this, you're going to be doing it from scratch. But I mean, this is way easier than anything I've ever seen from actually just building it. I mean, it's kind of mindless. You just follow the system or I don't want to call it system, follow Scarlett's, just order in the process. It seems so much easier than anything I've seen.
And that's what we found early on, myself included. When this endeavor started for my business partner and I, at the time, I was a senior business strategist. I was telling people what kind of organizations were what kind of application and how to run them appropriately. My business partner on the other side of the fence, CFO, bookkeeper, accountant, awesome dude. So when we sat down to create this thing, I said, you know what? I may not know exactly what I have to do next. That's the big key question. What do I have to do next? Put in the process. And now every single one of us can just walk down a pre-described pathway, in essence, quote unquote, follow the bouncing ball and set it up appropriately in a way that all of us can digest.
So when people start with this, like, how do they learn what to do and how to do it? John was asking, do I go to YouTube for videos? So kind of like what QuickBooks makes you do, there's a video for everything. How do they do it here? Are the videos built right into the software?
They are built right into the software. So as a brand new user, once you log in, you're immediately going to be looking at about a 2.5 minute long video. And that's going to be Scarlett, and she's going to just give you a nice little lay of the land. Here's where these things are. Here's how the next button works. Here's this, here's that. Awesome. Then at that point, when I go into add a business, I have that little video icon. If I get lost here, I click the video icon. Scarlett will give me the 30-second answer that I require to move on.
I love it.
If I don't know how to do my assets, click the video icon. Scarlett's going to come over the top and tell you what you need to do. Very, very quickly, very efficiently, because time is money. Time is key.
Can we change the accent of Scarlett?
No, not as of yet.
Checking. It's like GPS is right. Hey, come on, guy had to ask.
Yeah, absolutely.
Madeline asked, does the software generate the tax forms and identify which form should be used?
Not as of yet. Give us about a year and we will have that capability as well. We are anticipating being able to do your taxes directly from this software. Of course, we already have all of your financials. So we're hoping that it's just going to be an easy click of a button and all of the appropriate information will be moved to where it needs to be. Print it, email it, whatever you got to do, be done with it. It'll take you seconds.
Oh, Wayne just hit like the $1 million question. So if somebody's already deeply ingrained with QuickBooks and they want to switch, I mean, that's like one of those tasks that someone looks at and says, oh God, no way, no way. Is there any type of like process or system that automatically ports data from QuickBooks over to here and matches it up? I mean, how do you handle that?
So what we have is we're creating different ways to get that done. But let me come over here. So this, because of and don't look at the price as of this moment, but regardless of the individual that's curious about working with us, we are going to step in personally to help those individuals get their bookkeeping set up. And that also includes, back to, I believe it was Sally's question, hey, what if last year's books aren't quite done yet? Myself, Michael, and or one of our other associates will step in and say, you know what, let's sit down and let's get it done. And we're going to waive those charges because of our relationship.
Wow. All
the
right,
other
Wayne,
part that the individual
doesn't get much better than that. Somebody doing it. It's almost like the mapping team on your end.
Correct. So we will get it all set up for you, the whole 9 yards. You're not going to have to worry about it, not going to lose sleep about it, nothing. We're just going to help you, walk you through. Now we are offering a lifetime special. $2,000, 1995. That is our software for the remainder of life. Doesn't matter if we come up with updates or whatever it might be, you are grandfather, grandmothered in, that's for life. Now, past that, let me go over to our website very quickly. Now, the same theory applies. If the lifetime is not on your table, that's okay. We're still going to offer you the getting your books set up. If you need last year's stuff taken care of, it doesn't matter if you're going to pay $39, $59, or $95 a month. We're still going to step in and get those different things accomplished with you. And that's something.
So these are the costs here. I mean, that's really cheap. How much is QuickBooks? I lost track, but I mean, what does QuickBooks charge? It's a hell of a lot more than this.
QuickBooks is per organization. So you can get out the door at their most basic, I believe, at like $25 a month. And then it goes to 50, and then it goes to X, Y, Z. But the thing that they're doing right now is it's all 50% off, I believe. So, you know, you come in at the door at 40, and then in 3 months it's 80. And that's per organization. Our prices are $39 a month if you're a sole proprietor, $59 a month if you're a single LLC or a single corporation, and then $95 a month, period. I don't care how many different organizations you have. You can have 17 different LLCs that cover 17 different pieces of property. You're paying $95 a month. And you have every single bell and whistle that our software offers. We're not looking to bundle things and package things to where you're like, well, but I want that part and that one part, but I now have to pay $80 more a month for that one singular thing. No, that is an old ideology. It's worthless. It takes money out of the business owner's pocket when that money could be invested into their own organization. So we put our price points here. This is where they're going to stay. Inflation, not inflation. It does not matter. We're not messing with our prices. Now, we have been saying with those prices, people might not take you guys seriously. That's all well and good. And honestly, just look at what we have to offer.
Well, Jennifer was just saying, and this is kind of what I knew, you know, so she's saying QuickBooks retail online average is about $80 per month per company. And the 50% off bait and switch thing is only for 3 months. So they get you in, you get the discount for 3 months at 50 off, and then it goes back to the regular price. And then they hit you for every other thing too. And, you know, I know just from personal experience. So like, wow. All right.
Break the mold, do something different.
I got a couple questions came in here. Sally said, can Scarlett assist me to transfer expenses and income from my old sole prop to the new Inc. company? There's still some debts and expenses still in the old sole prop company. January to June 2022 faces this dilemma.
I would have no reservation. Once we get you on the software, either myself or Michael, we're going to identify all of the different banking transactions, put them in their appropriate buckets, and we're off and running.
All right.
It really is a very simple process.
In the chat, either Stephen or Sky, put the link so people can, you know, get into the software and how they do it while I ask a couple of questions, because they're coming in fast and furious. I didn't mean you had to take that off there, but this is a really good one, and this is something.
Oh no, that's okay.
I can't believe this hasn't come up. Teresa was asking, does the software identify vendors who need W-9s for 1099s? In other words, like if you spend more than $600 with one of your vendors, is it automatically going to trigger them and know that it's got to send out a 1099 at the end of the year and request a W-9? That would be a freaking cool feature.
We do have that.
Yes.
That is being created. That should be rolling out here in the next 2-3 months.
Wow.
All of the pathways and the technology are there. It's just we haven't flipped the switch yet, but it's there.
Yeah, now that will change the game, especially for real estate investors. I mean, real estate investors pay sometimes hundreds of vendors, and it's almost impossible to track, you know, which ones give you W-9s. I mean, we literally had to stop paying vendors until they gave us a W-9, because once you pay the contractor, they're not going to want to give you the W-9. They're just not. It's an absolute nightmare that I've had the battle for years and years, and literally now we just piss contractors off all the time because we won't pay them. You know, we get the request, you know, the invoice, and we're like, hey, we need your W-9 before you're going to get payment. Well, pay me and then I'll give you the W-9. No. So that would make it a lot easier. Jennifer asked, what is the payroll cost per month? Yeah, we didn't get into that.
That is dealt with by mypayrolloffice.com. We kept our hands out of that. We didn't want any part of it. We do know that they're about half the cost of QuickBooks. Their hearts are in the same arena as ours when it comes to extending that quote unquote olive branch to the business owner or entrepreneur.
Great. All right. And then Donna said, I imagine this would work well for 501c3s.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Denise said, can you repeat what the lifetime promotion was again, please?
Absolutely. So it's $19.95, and I'll go ahead and bring it up real quick. It's $19.95 for lifetime. So that includes the lifetime. It includes Scarlet platform setup. And am I showing this, or did I not do the screen share? I don't think I did a screen share.
No, I don't think so.
Here we go. That works probably a little bit better. So $19.95, that comes with the software for life. That's ultimately what you're paying for. Everything else, because of the relationship that I now have with Chris and Steven and Andrew, all beyond excellent human beings, I might add, that we are waiving all of these additionals directly because of this relationship. So what you're paying for is the software itself at a lifetime value of $2,000, and then we step in for free to do everything else with you and hold your hand.
So they would have no monthly charge forever for the use of this.
Forever. Wow. Ever. Never.
There you go, Donna. There's your answer to your question. All right. Well, in the chat, put the link, because people are like, okay, put the link. People love the links where they just click it and that gives them the ability, or they cut and paste it and put it in their browser. So let's put that in there, and then we'll keep sharing that. Let's see. Jennifer said QuickBook also makes it ridiculously hard to capture all 1099 vendors. Yeah, you're absolutely correct there.
And we do have it. Like I said, there's certain functions that we have turned off for the moment. Let me go down here. Let me share, or actually share a different screen. So inside of your reports area, it's here. You just cannot see it. So if you give us another 2 months, it's going to show up and you'll be able to see exactly what's going on. Apart from that, you can always go in and identify your vendors by themselves through your transactions and such.
Is there an expiration on that $19.95 lifetime offer?
Yeah, technically there is, but if it's 2-3 weeks from now, reach out to Chris, Steven, Andrew, myself. I'll put my phone number in the chat along with my email. Just reach out to me and say, hey, I caught that show and awesome. I don't want to. I'm not in the market.
Just Scarlet Books, just scarletbooks.com, Sky.
That's it.
Okay.
Now you won't be able to find that lifetime offer on the website itself. That's a secret menu item.
So if they wanted to do the lifetime, and we've only got the scarletbooks.com website, how do they get the $19.95? Like, what were we driving them for that?
I'm going to put my personal phone number in the chat.
Okay. So folks, if you're interested in the $19.95, it's not like there's some link or anything else. You just get a hold of Sky, and like that's how you set it up right there. So what I'm gonna do here, folks, I'm gonna put them both together so you can just do a cut and paste. So I'll put the website and his number. Whoops. Wow. Okay. Slow down. Perfect. There we go. All right. So folks, that's his phone number. So make sure you take that down. You can set up or give him a text or give him a call, and that gives you the lifetime access. And Steven did it way better than me. Or you can just click, on scarletbooks.com and sign up right there for the monthly. So that's how you get the software, folks. We were really impressed by it. It's not something that we'd normally do, where we'd bring, a presentation like this, but we've been talking about taxes a lot lately with the different CPAs, and we had the family office on MSTV, and they were talking about taxes. It's something that every one of you need to get on top of. Because if you're operating your business blindly, it's not going to be good. It's just going to envision putting a blindfold on and driving your car. It's not the way you want to do it. You'll crash. And if your business is going to scale and build, you're going to need bookkeeping. And if you're doing it yourself because you're a newer business, like this is the way to do it. It doesn't get more intuitive and easy than this. I mean, call it AI or whatever you want. We were talking about Elon Musk, who's developing lots of AI and also buying companies like Twitter. I mean, might as well. But this is the closest thing you're going to get for your bookkeeping.
Absolutely. And actually, there's one last thing that I want to show off with this software, and this is going to directly be for the professionals that may be in the room, right? The bookkeepers, accountants, CPAs. You guys are constantly having to rocket through multiple different bookkeeping items, and that means either A, remembering passwords, and so on and so on. Just a ridiculous method, and it's unfortunately that you've been pigeonholed into that. Now, with our software, if you are a professional, what I want you to notice is this little directional button right here. Now, you as the professional, you can click on this, and let's say I'm going to change my hats. You know, Michael F. Georgie, that's me. I'm the professional, right? I'm the bookkeeper. I'm the accountant, CPA. Now, as of right now, I'm looking at my own stuff. Awesome. But as the professional, I might need to change who I'm looking at any given time. So as a professional, I'm going to say, you know what? It's time. I need to go look at Sky's stuff. I'm going to click on him. I'm going to hit submit. And it's going to bring up all of my stuff. So now as the professional, I can scream through every single one of my accounts, every single one of my clients. I can scream right through them. Now, to take it a step further, we've talked about real estate. Real estate, there might only be a handful of transactions. I don't need to waste my time on dealing with those every single month. And as me, as the professional, I'm going to go, yes, Guy, I don't need to see all of that every single month. So I'm going to get rid of these companies that are inconsequential. And I'm going to go, yep, those are the only 3 that I want to see today because I know that they have the most movement. Bam. Now I can go in, do the work that's required for only the 3 versus every single one of the LLCs. So it's not muddying the waters. I can get the job done quickly, efficiently, and move on with my day.
I know Jennifer was like, that's awesome. And my bookkeeper, Melissa, would love that. She's always complaining about how many times she's got to put passwords in. And, you know, then all of a sudden, sometimes, you know, something happens and you get locked out. It's a nightmare. This just allows you to go straight through. So for professionals, that's just such a breath of fresh air right there. We all hate passwords.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's cumbersome. It's ridiculous. We should probably start stepping up our game.
And then somebody was asking, is there a payment plan available for the lifetime option, or is it just flat out $19.95?
You know, we do have a heart. It's not exactly something that I like to do because sometimes tracking people down is sometimes a bear and I don't like to do it. But find my phone number, find my email, reach out to me. Let's get on the phone. Let's have a conversation.
Cool. And then Kalani says, as a business with accounts receivable, will the system generate past due notices to issue to accounts that are past due?
Correct. Yes. It highlights them in red. You get to visually see what is going on. You can make the phone calls, deal with business, get it done.
Here's a question, like every month. So for real estate, because we have a lot of real estate professionals on here and real estate investors, but you know, we're constantly chasing rents down and it's a manual thing. I mean, can the system literally, can we build it into the system saying, you know, the rents are due on specific days, and if it's late, it automatically prompts and sends out a late notice for late rent? And then also, this is going a little too far, but could I build it in where I literally just put an eviction notice that gets automatically sent out if they're later than 15 or 20 days, just to be an asshole? Just asking for a friend.
The latter part, the latter to deliver that kind of notification, not so much. But everything forward of that, with the setting your invoicing to a reoccurring type status and so on. Yes, absolutely. If the invoice is not paid by a certain day, yes, you can set it to where the individual now receives a different document that says, hey, you forgot to pay me, or whatever the reason was, and now you're getting hit with the overages.
Okay, so the only thing we can't do is automatically send the eviction notice.
You know, there's some state laws that might be a little tricky to deal with.
Who cares about the laws?
Yeah.
I was kind of kidding about that, but then I got thinking about it. That would actually be a good idea. Jennifer said I got this message trying to go to mypayrolloffice.com. Anyone else get this? So your connection is not private. Attackers might be trying to steal your information from, I don't know, if you want to read that in the Q&A and maybe just get back to Jennifer on that.
Absolutely. I can get back to you on that one, but just so everybody is aware, none of us like the format of it. So that's being revamped as we speak.
Okay. Yeah, Drew, the tech guy said, sounds like an SSL certificate problem, whatever the hell that means. Way to go, Drew. Come in with that foreign talk that you and Andrew talk about all the time. Let's see. Sally said, for real estate rentals, can we link up with the utility company for monthly bill and then link up with an email and a request for reimbursement from the tenant? So in other words, you know, like with utility bills, can that be linked to automatically pay from the account? And then the second part, I guess maybe they're getting reimbursed from the tenant. I've never seen the reimbursement.
The first part, yes. The second part, you would have to do a little manual stuff inside of Scarlet.
Okay. Yeah, Sally, I've never heard of that where someone requests reimbursement from the tenant. So if the tenant should be paying the utilities, well, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, you would just work with Sky and his team
That would just be
to figure that
potentially
out.
a secondary invoice. Yeah. You know, you have an invoice that's rent, and then you have an invoice that's utilities.
Okay. How about Sage? They use this at my work. I'm not sure what that means. George, what do you mean by that? How about Sage?
Sage International? And which part of Sage?
Yeah. They said you use this at work. He'll comment back in on that. Let's see. Yeah, nerds attack. We should all like play an episode or like a small little piece of Nerds, the movie, and that would signify what Drew said there. Yeah, we all need nerds, that's for sure. All right, so we're just waiting for George to comment back in on that. Folks, I'm going to post it one more time, how you actually get the lifetime offer, and also you can just go to the website if you want to do the monthly, because that's right there. So there's that link.
And I'll be keeping an eyeball out if I notice, you know, some additional signups and you didn't reach out to me. I will reach out to you via your email that you'll be utilizing, and I'll fire off a message saying, hey, I did see that you just signed up. Let's connect. Let's help you get onboarded confidently.
Oh, yeah, I'm surprised this is the first person asking this, but Colleen was asking, do you have any affiliates or do you offer accounting services that utilizes the software? It's a good question.
We are actively looking for individuals that want to, you know, get in deep with our system, really know how to utilize it. At that point, if an individual comes to us and says, I don't care how easy your software is, I still don't want to do it, I'm going to have direct access to you to where I can shoot that client directly over to you. And we do have affiliate payouts. Please reach out to me and we can discuss those.
Okay. Anonymous was wondering how different it is from Sage. So that question was, they were just wondering how different it is from Sage.
As far as accounting goes?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really familiar with Sage, so I can go in and take a look, but I'd be hard pressed to say that they're, you know, multi-entity.
And then Jennifer, who's in the business, is asking any suggestions for how to onboard existing clients to switch to your software?
Absolutely. So what you would be wanting to do is you just go into more accounting, you go in, or excuse me, more, and then more accounting. You're gonna go to your previous balances, identify where they are at that particular time frame, plug in the numbers, and then go to work. I mean, most of the work is going to happen through the download process from the bank, and then you're just going to be doing approving or quick updates, and you're generally set.
Awesome.
And like I said, please reach out. We are wanting to walk you hand in hand down this pathway. So all of the people that do listen to you and Chris and Chris and Stephen and Andrew and so on, they're being taken care of from the ground up.
And Bob was asking, how do you pass your tax info to your accountant that uses QuickBooks?
That's an excellent question. Reach out to me.
All right. So Bob, I'm sending you a direct message with all the contact info. All right. A couple more questions came in. Jennifer said, I was thinking more of how to present like you did. Oh, okay. So she's more, I mean, I guess the easiest thing would be, Jennifer, kind of like how we do it. If you wanted us to do a presentation for your clients or for a group on the money multiplier, I guess, Sky, I don't want to throw you in front of the bus, but would you be willing to do presentations like this for her clients if she organized a Zoom?
Absolutely. All day long. All day long.
Sorry, Jennifer, I took the initiative there because we get asked that all the time with the money multiplier. They're like, I tried explaining this and everybody just sat there looking like I was a Martian. And I said, yeah, why don't you just put a group together on a Zoom and we'll come on and we'll explain it to them. And that's usually a much better way to do it.
Ain't that the truth?
Yes, very much the truth. And we're doing a lot more of that. Matter of fact, shameless plug, if any of you do have a RIA or you have like a group that does regular meetings of more than 25 people, okay, because that's the minimum, 25 people or more, and you are on the East Coast, which would be determined by Texas, draw a line in the United States from Texas to the right over to, I guess you would say, New York City. We will fly out to you and do a presentation for the money multiplier if you're interested in having us come out. So we are starting that again. We haven't done it since the beginning of the pandemic, and now we are doing it full force. If it's the right group and it's a big enough group, we'll also bring the DJ out with us and put on a full, there you go, put on a full presentation with the DJ and make it not just education, but we're going to make it edutainment. I think that's the proper way to say it. So if any of you are interested, you can reach out to us. You can email Snaggy, SNAGY at chrisnaugle.com. And we would love to come out and present, but I use that as a thing because Sky is willing to do the same thing. I don't think he's willing to fly to you to do it, but he certainly will do it via Zoom.
Depending on location, 100% willing to fly out.
Okay, there you go. So as long as the group's right, so there you go.
Why not North Dakota? Maybe not so much, but Florida, Buffalo, things of that nature, maybe.
Yeah, and this is a good one. Unanimous said, if I have I don't know what a 214 license is, but can I refer people to the system and get paid? So you do have an affiliate program. Do you want to just hit on that, or should they just reach out to you directly on that?
We do have an affiliate program. Now, when you're talking licenses, we might want to have a little bit of a closed door conversation. That can be a little sticky, and I wouldn't want to get anybody in trouble. But we do offer a 20% from, if Steven signs up, he tells Chris, well, Steven's going to make 20% off of Chris for the lifetime of Chris. If Chris gets excited and tells Bob, now Steven's going to make 5% off of Bob as well. Now Chris makes the 20% off of Bob. So it's 20% on the front end, 5% on the back end.
Cool. Chris, go sign up.
That's for the lifetime of those clientele.
Kalani just invited you to Hawaii. So I don't know, Hawaii is kind of a crappy place. It's not very
real bummer place.
Yeah, Hawaii, nothing to see there, nothing at all. It's brown.
Like that St. Thomas. Who wants to go there?
Yeah, who wants to go to St. Thomas? Don't even go there. Just so you all know, I'm supposed to be on a plane right now. Actually, I would probably be already at my midway point getting to St. Thomas. All expense paid trip at the Ritz, like just everything you can imagine. And I couldn't go because about 18 or 19 days ago, I came down with COVID, my second time with it. And I tested negative using the home test. Actually, last Wednesday, I tested negative. I went to Walgreens to get my test so that I can fly to St. Thomas. And wouldn't you know it, positive. So shit, that's the only word I can say for it. Not going to St. Thomas. That's why I'm here. I wasn't even supposed to be on this one today.
And that's not a Kelly Cardenas shit. That's a shit.
Yeah. There's been some choice words I had to say about Walgreens and their stupid testing. Oh, anyway.
I saw something from Sally A. Foley, just to summarize, $19.97 for the lifetime and then $95 per month.
Oh, no. Yeah, do you want to hit that?
To boil it down, if you pay me $19.97, you never pay a bill ever. If you live to be 152 years old, which God, hopefully you do, you never pay a bill ever. If you go for the monthly, well, then we're monthly. That's monthly. Mm-hmm. But that is grandmothered in. You never pay me another red penny, ever.
It reminds me a lot of Private Money Club, Chris. I mean, we let a lot of people at the very beginning at like $200, and then it was $9.97. It's going to be $14.97 in October when we launch the new version of it. It sounds very similar, Sky, what you guys are doing with these low prices right now when you're just getting started.
Yep, that's what we're doing. At some point, depending on location, the lifetime will go away. But for the now, $19.97, you own it for life.
Nice.
Yeah, Maureen, that's an important thing. And Joe, so I've already done 2 tests at Walgreens. Both came back positive. I'm doing another one today just for shits and giggles to see if it comes back negative. I mean, I just don't know how I can get multiple negative tests on the home test, and then you go to Walgreens and it's positive. I think they're just a more sensitive test. I've read that you can test positive for 90 days after you have COVID on those. So I guess they just don't want us flying anywhere for fun and going to the Ritz and seeing sun. Oh, and by the way, folks, just as a kick in the nuts, I wake up this morning, 5 o'clock. I just couldn't sleep. I'm just, just rough. And I walk downstairs, and these two know what I'm talking about. I walk downstairs, and before you have your coffee, you're like, you're not really seeing things. And I look outside, I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like something didn't look right. I'm like, all right, you rub your eyes and you look out again. Everything was white. Everything. We literally got a snowstorm last night. That's right. I woke up to literally winter wonderland, and it was pretty, but I seriously thought something was wrong because if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, last week or even earlier this week, we had 80-degree weather. I had the air conditioning on. People are walking around in shorts, and then I woke up this morning, the day that I can't fly to the most luxurious paradise called St. Thomas. I wake up to winter day number. What day number is this? 362?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So welcome to Buffalo. If anyone's thinking about moving, this should be the absolute last place, well, in the United States, you should ever consider living. I'm just putting it out there. I can't think of a worse place that you can live in this country than where we are at. So if you're thinking of coming to Buffalo to live, stay away. You will be pissed and miserable. But if you're thinking about coming to just kind of check it out, I got the perfect time. It's July 29th, 30th, and the 31st. Join us for 3 days. It will be beautiful. It will be sunny. It will be green. And then get on the plane and go home because it's probably going to snow the next couple days. Anyway, with that being said, Stephen, can you put the link up for the July event? And folks, I'm going to put one more for Sky here. And you guys, there you are. So get on the 1997, set up a call with them. And right there is the event the event link for the July event, the 29th, 30th, and 31st. There's 3 options actually. You can stay in your underwear and do the virtual like we always do with the 3-day. It's going to be a different format than the 3-day, but you can do that. It's $97 virtually. Okay, you can come out to Buffalo when it's paradise in Buffalo, which only happens 1 month of the year in July. And during that paradise month, you get to hang out with us Saturday and Sunday for $297. It's that's the general admission ticket. There is only 100 seats because we rented out a TV studio where they would film like, I'm an Oprah fan, so where you could envision like an Oprah, right? Where there's the stage and then the stadium seating where everybody sits, and we might even have the thing so you don't have to laugh, it just laughs automatically. So that's that. And then we have a VIP ticket. We only have actually 19 of these because we've already sold one, where Friday, the 29th, you're going to go to a baseball game with us. We're going to take like a limo bus to a baseball game. We're going to have dinner we rented out a suite, but it's a 50s themed diner suite. And we're going to have a good time. And then as luck would have it, we literally picked one of the few days where they're doing fireworks. So we get to watch fireworks. So that's part of the VIP. Plus you also get fed and a bunch of other extras that we're doing. So there's the offers and the options for the live event in July, or you can just do the virtual as we normally would do. All right. So let's see. Yep, there you go, Colleen. $97, no airfare, no hotels. That's right. That's an option. And there's an unlimited number of virtual seats available. And it's going to be really cool because we're going to be streaming live when we do the event. And we're also going to have like a setup here where we're at right now, where Steven's going to be running the virtual side of it, and then we'll be running the live side. So it'll be totally a different setup than what you're used to with live events, but we're going to have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, no masks here and no masks on the plane if you don't want. All right, Sky, anything else you want to close out with?
You know, I think I'm excellent. If there's any hesitation by looking at my email and it says IBG Books, please forgive me. We went through a little bit of a rebranding. So in the next couple of days, that will be Sky at Scarlet, but Sky at IBG Books works perfectly for the now. And I'm looking forward to meeting some of the individuals out there.
Okay, awesome. Sky, I appreciate it. A couple of you are asking about the virtual that's $97 or $197. When you go to that link, it's going to say $197. There's a coupon code you got to put in. Steven, do you remember what the coupon code was for that?
I don't know. If you want to give it to them now, we were going to wait till it sells out of seats and then open it up for a discount. But
here, I can find it. Give me 2
oh,
seconds.
I know what it is. I just don't know if I want to give it to everybody.
You can give it to them.
We were supposed to not do that until we sell out the actual seats.
I know.
All right. It's virtual event, I think, in all capital letters, I believe.
All right.
Try that here. I can try it.
I'll try it. I let the wood out of the cage, cat out of the. Let's leave the cats out of this.
We're not doing that anymore after this, you guys. So do it this one time.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that. I got a little ahead of myself, got a little excited, and yes, there we are. All right, folks. Well, that's about a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. We're putting up tons of them, but I think if you like this one, you'll probably like that video as well. Click that alert button. Actually, smash that alert button, and you'll be notified every time we put a new video. So we'll see you on the next episode.